What is up, YouTube and all my fish keeping friends? How are y'all doing out there in fish tank land? Today we're going to be putting together an Infusoria tank. Don't go anywhere. So any of you out there that have been looking to breed some kind of nano fish, something like a tetra, something like that, you've probably been informed that you're going to go ahead and have to create an Infusoria culture or create an Infusoria tank to help feed these microscopic fry. Infusoria is a broad term which really covers a wide range of microorganisms. Most of these organisms fall into the kingdom Protista. Not all of them, but most of them. These are all just different kinds of microorganisms that are going to be living within the water column, in your substrate, breaking down organics and things like that. Many of you have probably found information and videos on how to create a culture of Infusoria in a jar or a small little glass container by taking leaf litter or taking different things like fruit peels or lettuce and stuff like that, and putting it into a bit of aged water and giving it time and letting these Infusoria, these microorganisms, culture that water column and come to life in there, and then suck them up and feed your fish with them. What I personally like to do is I like to create a whole tank of Infusoria, just an actual tank that it can possibly crash, but if you give it time and let it age over 3 to 6 months, this can really come to life and be home to many different microorganisms. My overall plan is to go ahead and get this tank set up and going for about 3 to 6 months, and then I want to spawn some tetra in here, then remove the parents and leave the eggs to hatch and the fry to get their first meal of the Infusoria, which would be in this bed of leaf litter at the bottom. One key thing that you'll notice when you're creating some kind of Infusoria culture or an Infusoria tank is you're gonna have the water be cloudy at the beginning, and what you're gonna notice is over time that water is gonna clear up, and that's a sign that those microorganisms are finally taking hold and starting to eat up the organics within the water column. Now you'll see that I've gone ahead and collected a lot of leaf litter. I boiled and sterilized the leaf litter and torn it up into lots of little pieces to kind of make a little bit more of a dense bed of leaf litter at the bottom of this tank. There is no sand or substrate in this tank, just leaf litter. The tank is about 2/3 of the way full right now, and I'm gonna leave it that way for a while. One good thing to have on an Infusoria tank or culture as well is some lighting, because a lot of microorganisms feed off of unicellular algae and things like that. So without that photosynthesis in place, there's a lot of algae and things that would not grow, which are going to be food for these Infusoria over time. So I went ahead and filled this tank up with leaf litter yesterday, and I gave it the night to kind of settle, and you'll see that it's kind of cloudy and it does have a little bit of a hint of tannins to it, which those tannins will actually increase over time. So I do have this other tank of Infusoria. It's about a 2.5 gallon aquarium. I've been holding on to it for about 6 months. I've been taking cuttings from my other aquariums and stuff, just little cuttings of plants and stuff that I was gonna throw out or flush down the toilet, and I went ahead and threw them in there and let them break down. Now I haven't put any light on this, so the cuttings aren't growing, they're just breaking down, and the microorganisms are having a chance to eat all of this, all these cuttings. I do have a microscope set up in the other room, so I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of water out of this 2.5 gallon aquarium. I'm going to put it onto a slide, and I'm going to let you guys get a chance to see just some of the microorganisms that are alive right now in this water. Okay, this is just a little 2.5 gallon aquarium. I have it on my top shelf with my microworms and my Walter worms and stuff like that. Now you can see there's a lot of mulm at the bottom of this tank. There is a couple of pieces of plant in there that are still green, but for the most part it's just a lot of broken down organic material at the bottom of this tank. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of water, suck it up from the very bottom in the mulm down here. I'm going to put it under the microscope and let you guys get a chance to see that right now. Alright, well that was some pretty cool stuff. There's not a lot going on in here. I'd like to see more microorganisms going on in this little aquarium, but like I said before, I don't have any photosynthesis going on, which is going to have an effect on how many different Infusoria, how many different microorganisms you're going to be able to get to thrive in that water column. So now that I'm going to put them into an aquarium here with lighting and a lot of leaf litter and food for them to break down and to consume, there definitely will be a lot more microorganisms for the fry to feed on. So I'm going to go ahead and just dump all of this water, everything in it. I'm going to go ahead and just stir it up first to get it all mixed up, to make sure that everything goes in there. A whole mess of all kinds of goodness. So much life in this little aquarium. It's really insane. It's incredible how many little microorganisms are living in the water column of all of our aquariums. I'm just going to put a whole bunch of it in here. Most of it. I'm just going to take a little beaker here and get all this water. Just dump it right in. There's so much life in this water. It is incredible. Well, there we go. There is plenty of life in this tank now. So it's really going to take some time. There's no rush on this kind of stuff. I plan on giving this about 3 months, like I said before. Just, probably 3 or 6 months before I actually put any kind of tetra in here, any kind of fish in here to spawn. I'm gonna go ahead and give it about 3 months, and then I'll look at it under a microscope with you guys. We'll look at the process here as we go along and see all the different microorganisms that are building up inside of this. So I'll be able to see what's living in this water under a microscope before I ever put a fish in here. So it'll be really, really cool to see how this tank progresses. So with a little bit of light on it like I have now, this thing is really truly going to come to life. It's alive now at this point. Now please keep in mind, this is just my method for creating an Infusoria tank. There's plenty of other methods out there for creating cultures Infusoria and things like that. But I hope this might have helped some of you out that are really interested in breeding some kind of a nano fish, some kind of really small fish with microscopic fry, which require their first meals to be Infusoria. This should be a really awesome tank for spawning fish in. Like I said before, I'm just going to go ahead and put the fish in here for about 12 to 24 hours to spawn. Then I will remove the adults and just give it a few weeks and keep an eye on things and see what happens. So thank you guys again for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope this helps you out once again. If you're not subscribed to this content and you like it and you want to see more of it, please go ahead and click on that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And remember guys, keep your tanks clean, your fish fed, and have fun.